Good morning. Hopefully everybody's doing well, my dear kittens. So let's start. What do we have today? Star has been coming out very much in February readings. If you didn't check February, please do. I did it on live in two sets. The timestamps have been provided. But we have the star reverse now. As I said, it was really, really coming through. Then we have the Emperor, and then we have Take the Lead. So what is the difference between major arcana and minor arcana? So what is a major arcana? It's a set of 22 cards. In addition to that, like from 1 to king, as you would find it in a regular set. So these additional cards are sort of like mentorship, if you want, spiritual mentorship. And when they have something to say, this is like you're not going further unless you do that. So we really need to take it seriously, right? So now we have two, which is really important when you really see not only one but two in a day. So we are starting with the star reversed, and star being one of my favorite cards because if you have no hope, you're not human, in my opinion. But when it reverses, it cautions us, right? So it tells us that our spiritual mission is somehow distorted, right? So that means we are taking shortcuts or something. So you have to think what it was. If you didn't do anything, that's what it's telling you. You need to do something. You need to kind of like go with this, right? Maybe you have simply negative thoughts that kind of like are wearing you away. Or maybe, you're thinking about conceding and accepting defeat. So when this kind of like reverses, it simply tells you that you need to kind of like reassess why you're feeling discouraged or maybe overwhelmed, and you need to move on past these issues because hey, no victory is straight path. If you hear the celebrities who have been quote unquote overnight success, they will tell you, yeah, 20 years and plus overnight, that's kind of how it worked, where for 20 years they were couch surfing, waitressing. So there is elbow grease in everything, and you need to keep on going, right? So, also, this is really talking about being a little bit disengaged, right? So maybe you're slacking off. Maybe your house is not tidied up. Maybe things are all over the place. And this is one of my pet peeves, even with me. I feel that house has to be all the time in place. I usually take photographs of my spaces simply because I'm so used to every day. And then I see myself, for example, on Zoom conversations that, oh my God, look at that shelves. I'm just putting stuff on it without any sense, and they don't look good in camera. So the same thing, one thing are mandatory to be okay, and that will be closets and the fridge. And do those kind of like arrangements regularly, and you will see how much better you're going to feel, and you're going to process information better. You're going to come up with information better. So if you wish, this is my advice for prevention of dementia, Alzheimer's, and that kind of stuff, right? So maybe this also talks like lack of hope, guys. Like when you lose hope, like you don't want to do what you're doing anymore. Are you maybe thinking that you need to make changes in your career, kind of a thing, or loss of faith? Overall, this is kind of like a loss of some kind of like belief in something, right? Maybe you need reassurance that you're still on the right path, that you're going on the right journey, right? Um, be careful because this is always about test of faith. This is always about, hey, do you really want it? Just keep on going, kind of a thing, right? Because you're going to come out as a stronger person. That is very important. But if you give up, you give up, because I can see the day is going to be up and down, kind of a thing, right? But then we have the Emperor upright. So this is even telling us, which is really, really interesting because like we have two fire and we have air. and fire and air get along very well, but where there is this much fire and like air that is almost like vanishing, almost like it's overwhelming. Just think about a house burning, like you're lacking oxygen, you drop down, you die. So it is very important to be very attentive to everything, look in every detail, be very detail oriented today, and also just basically cross all your T's, dot your I's, as they say, right? Because when the Emperor comes through, this is our father figure of the tarot deck. He is the one who is the provider. He protects us, and he also defends his loved ones, right? So he also established a family, a solid family line, and he's kind of like seen as authority or patriarch in the kind of like family, kind of like network, right? So this is the person we can go to for guidance, and he's also showing us the structure and stability. So combining these two, we see that if we give up, or even if we don't want to give up, just there is somebody, a mentor we can go to who can actually help us, right? Because that's a really powerful leader who demands authority and dominance, right? He is really comfortable in a leadership role. So maybe kind of like there is a little boost of things. Believe it or not, I sometimes go to HGTV Homemade. That's his home and garden television network. And Homemade is showing these people, and I specifically like Rajiv. Rajiv is also from Toronto, but now he lives in New York, and he does a whole bunch of stuff from book binding to marbling paper, and I'm mesmerized with this. It's just like it's almost like that ASMR for me watching that, but it's also telling me how attention to detail and loving things that you do is really, really important. Yesterday I made a banana bread with such love that it was just like for the first time in my life that I really realized how much more you can put in what you are doing, right? So this is also about relationship, guys. Maybe, you're like feeling it's not jiving, it's not going in a good direction. But when you have the Emperor, then it tells, no, no, you're wrong. This is like actually established and committed relationship that does have some history behind it, or this person has that form of relationship already. So if that's the case, maybe you're hoping somebody's going to leave his wife, or she's going to leave her husband, or you find out about somebody and you're saying to yourself, that's hopeless, right? And that's kind of like something that needs to be established. Who is in charge in your life? Is it you, or is it somebody else? If it is not you, you really have to figure out. So now it's really interesting that as a third one, which is not as important when I see two major arcanas before that, right? Because when you see the fires, things are moving quickly, things are moving progressively forward, and it's always something. So take the lead is like that card where we really are kind of like, pardon my language, a little bit of a chicken shit, right? So we just talk a lot but really don't do it. I see Onyx is trying to jump on the table, which is really cute. Hello, hello, mister. You can see his shadow walking by and a pretty tail. Yeah, kittens are growing. They're already, they're going to be almost 11 months now soon. So this is kind of like talking about the preparation and foresight, but then it's reversed. So it's a lack of foresight. There's delays and there may be obstacles. And again, if you think that things are going to be easy, you need to think again, because that is really telling me again that you have tried to embark on your journey, maybe of personal development, maybe in career, maybe in a relationship, but you haven't been able to accomplish the goals that you have basically hoped for, right? What you are not realizing, and this is the entire reading, is that these setbacks are really important part of the bigger life journey. This is where the majority gives in, and it's just like they're not continuing. So if you stand out, you will actually contribute to your personal development, right? Maybe also struggling to put your plans into action. Maybe you are like trying to get people to react to you and it's really not happening. If this is a relationship, maybe, that can indicate maybe there is like something that you are feeling, well, the promises are not being kept and you don't want to fool yourself. In that case is positive in a sense that you're no longer taking any crap over there, right? So if you however want to continue with that partner, it's becoming a work, and you have to realize that for a relationship to work in the long term, you will need to work things out together and come to a compromise. Without that, this is just not going to work. Maybe this is also telling us that there is something that we have tried in the past, and now we are realizing, you know what, that really doesn't work. I mean, it can be a diet that you had, it was like too intense, or it was not sustainable, and something that is not sustainable is just not going to work in the long term. So this, I would say, it's very important to realize that today we need to kind of like pay attention to everything. We need to realize that, we do have a potential to be who we are. It is encouraging us to persist. It is telling us that this is a learning lesson. So don't be superficial and just like give up. Continue. And along the way, you just cannot blindly continue either. You need to talk about things. It's not much diplomacy that I can see over here, but there is like certain thing that needs to be addressed, and trust me, you're going to feel much better about you. So guys, I really wish you continue to persist. Please give me thumbs up if you liked it. If you didn't like it, give me thumbs down so we can move forward with this. I love you very much, and I'll see you tomorrow.